Hi guys, welcome back and welcome to part 2 of the crochet backpack tutorial using t-shirt yarn. In this part, I'll be showing you how to do the straps to the bag and also the top zipper. The link to the part 1 tutorial is in the description box, so click on it and watch part 1 if you've not watched it yet. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet and leave a like, comment and share if you enjoy this tutorial. As you can see, I've done an extension on the bag on the top part, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side just to close up that very wide open space on the top part of the bag. To work that closure, we're going to count the number of stitches at the top part of the bag, and I counted a total of 23. So I'm going to take the 23 plus 2 to get to 25. So we're going to work with 25 stitches. And so I'm going to grab the yarn and the hook, and I'll start with a slip knot. So begin with a slip knot and then chain 25. Now if you've gotten your stitches at 24, you're going to take 24 plus 2, that should be 26. But we should have the same number of stitches. If we've worked the same size, then we should have 25 stitches. If yours are more than 25, 23. If they are more than 23, then work with the number that you've gotten. So I'm chaining up to 25 now, and once I get to 25, I'm just going to work 2 rows. So let me get to the 25 chains. I have the 25 stitches ready and I'm ready to work row 1. So to begin row 1, I'm going to chain 1 more and skip that second chain that I've done. Remember, we are working on the loops at the back, so skip 1 and work into the second chain. In that back loop, place a single crochet. Sorry about that. So then we move on to the next stitch in that back loop of it and work a second single crochet, third single crochet into the next stitch in that loop that's at the back, then a fourth single crochet, and I'm just going to place 1 single crochet to the end of row 1. At the end of row 1, we should have 25 single crochets. I'm coming to the end of row 1, placing a single crochet into every stitch. I'm in the last stitch and I have my last single crochet there, and we're done with row 1. So then chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. We begin row 2 in the first stitch with a single crochet, then a second single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the stitch that follows, then 1 single crochet into all the stitches to the end. At the end of row 2, we should also have 25 single crochets. So let me work to the end of row 2, then I'll show you what to do next. I'm coming to the end of row 2, and that's my last single crochet right there, and we are done with the extension. We're only doing 2 rows. So now we get the bag and we're going to attach that tiny piece on top of the bag just like we've done with the other one. So now we had the bag, the 2 panels were 4 stitches apart. We have 4 stitches that are in between the 2 large panels. So what we do, you're going to turn your work like this. We want to work on the 2 stitches that are remaining there. So the other one was connected on 2 stitches. The other one, this second one, will be on the 2 stitches that are remaining. So chain 1 and go into that stitch, the second stitch from the point of connection, and insert your hook. Then we're going to insert it back onto this small panel that we worked on the first row, and grab the loop and bring it up. Grab that loop, bring it into the hook, and then we're going to pull through to complete a slip stitch. Then we're going to go onto the second row, the second stitch, and so you just go into that stitch and onto the second row of this tiny panel and slip stitch. Then we're going to get onto the last stitch that we worked when we were connecting the panels to form the bag. So into that stitch and the first stitch on this side of the tiny panel, we slip stitch. Then we get into the next stitch and the second stitch on the small panel and slip stitch. Then we're going to work like this into all the corresponding stitches. Make sure that you align them the right way such that you do not miss any stitch. Make sure that you're not skipping any stitch or working twice in one stitch. So now we keep going all the way to the other side. I'm coming to the end on that other side, and I'm just making sure that I'm aligning my stitching and doing the slip stitches until all the stitches are worked in. Our last stitch should go onto that last stitch of connection of the previous panels. So just connect, then we get onto the rows, the stitches and the rows. So into that stitch, and on the first row of this tiny panel, slip stitch. Then we're going to go onto the second stitch and the second row of our closure panel and slip stitch. Then finally I'll go into that stitch that is already worked and do a slip stitch into the very first stitch on the other side. Then I'll pull the yarn and get the pair of scissors and cut it off. So I want to leave a long end so that I can weave easily. Cut off the yarn, pull it through, and now we're going to take it to the inner part of the bag and weave it in. So slip stitch it in and then weave it in on the stitches that are inside the bag. We have that second closure of the bag ready, and now this is what we have, and we are ready to have the zipper in place. I'm really struggling to get a clear focus of the bag because it's way bigger, and I feel like my tripod is not long enough to really focus on the actual thing that you're supposed to see on this bag. But I hope that you're getting something. I hope you're getting what you are doing. So now this is the open part of the bag that we need to attach the zipper, and you're supposed to do the extensions on both sides. I've only shown you one, but you need to do the second one on the other side of the bag. Before we do the zipper, I'll show you how to do the straps to the bag. Now we need to count the stitches. We've already counted the stitches that are on that upper part of the bag, and there were 23. So we're going to take the 23 and divide it by 2. 23 by 2, that's 11.5. So I'll count a total of 12 stitches and mark the 12th stitch. Then I need to count from the other side and make sure that I have the same number of stitches. We are working the strap on the side that does not have the pocket. So I've moved my hook, and that is where I'm going to mark, and that's the exact middle part of the bag. Next we get the yarn and start with a slip knot, and then we're going to count 2 stitches from the middle part. Watch where I'm working my stitches. Now insert your hook like so and get the loop. After the slip stitch, get that loop, the slip knot that is. Then we're going to chain 1, and that's our first single crochet. Then we're going to do a second single crochet into the next stitch. Then we chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to work 1 single crochet into that first stitch and 1 single crochet into the chain 1 that we've done. and that's row 2, chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. We work 2 stitches, chain 1 at the end of row 3 and turn to work row 4, chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to work a 4th row, 1 stitch and then a second one. We chain 1 and turn. We work row 5 with 2 single crochets, that is 1 and 2. Then again chain 1 and turn to work row 6, 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, chain 1 and turn to work row 7 with a single crochet in the first stitch and a single crochet into the second stitch. Then I'm just going to try and see if this is long enough. No, we chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work row 8 now. So that is 1 single crochet and a second single crochet, then chain 1 and turn to work row 9. We have a single crochet and a second single crochet, chain 1 and turn. This is row 10 now. We're working 2 single crochets, chain 1, turn, and check whether that length works, and if it doesn't work, you're just going to keep increasing the number of rows. So then I feel like mine is long enough, and we're going to attach it like this onto the next 2 stitches. So I've done a total of 10 rows, and now I'll connect. I'm increasing. I'm in row 11 right now, so I'm doing row 11, chain 1, do row 12, then chain 1, and now that is enough. I really didn't have to cut the chain, the yarn first. I could have just connected on the other side before cutting off the yarn, but we're going to work with this. So onto the 2 stitches on the other side of the stitch marker, we're going to connect our strap. So now just go into the first stitch, then into that stitch that is next to the stitch marker and slip stitch, then chain 1, go back into the second stitch and the second stitch that is next to the one that we've worked, and pull up a loop and then slip stitch, then chain 1, and that part is connected. So now we're going to take the strap to the wrong side and weave it in. So I'll do that off camera because you already know how to weave in the end. So just go grab it through the inside part of the bag and weave it in together with the first one that we have right there. So now this is what we have. Next we're going to work the 2 long straps that are used to carry the bag on the shoulders, and I'm going to work the straps separately, then I'll come back and attach them to the bag. So grab the yarn and the hook and let's do that. We start with a slip knot as usual, so and leave a long end at the end of your strap because we're going to use it to connect the strap to the bag. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and a 4th one, that's the turning chain. Then we're going to count 2 chains, 1, and work into the second one. So we're going to have 3 stitches. So this is the first one, which is a single crochet, then the second stitch will get a single crochet, the third stitch will get a single crochet, and then we're going to chain 1 at the end and turn, then place a single crochet in the first stitch, a single crochet into the second stitch, and a single crochet into the third stitch. And we're going to repeat these rows of 3 single crochets until we get the length of the strap that we want. Once I get to the end, I'm going to chain 1 at that very end, then I'll leave a long tail for attaching and cut off the yarn, and I've done a total of 40 rows. So then I'll go on and work a second strap with the same number of rows, and then I'll get to connecting the two straps onto the bag. So right here I've already done my second strap, and let's connect them. Now we get the bag, and from the bottom part of the bag you need to count 3 stitches. So from one side, counting 1, 2 and 3, I'll insert my hook into the third, and okay, from the first stitch on the strap and that third stitch on the bag, just watch where I'm connecting, and right there I'm going to do a slip stitch and chain 1. I've cut my tail too short, then into the second stitch and the second stitch on the bag, slip stitch and chain 1, then the third stitch, I'm doing the third slip stitch, and then I'll chain 1. The end is too short, but I'm going to work with it. Chain 1, pull the yarn through, and take this strap, the end that has remained, to the wrong side and weave it in. You already know how to weave this in, so just grab it, take it to the wrong side. I'm going to weave in that later. So let me show you how to attach the strap on the top part of the bag now. Making sure that your strap is not twisted, take it to the top, and we're going to work on the stitches next to that shorter strap that we did there. Go into the first stitch and the first stitch next to that, and we're going to slip stitch, pull up the loop and pull it through, then chain 1, go into the second stitch and the second stitch right there, do a slip stitch and chain 1, then the third one we do the same thing, into the third stitch, then we slip stitch and chain 1. Then we're going to take that strap to the wrong side of the bag, or onto the inside part of the bag, and weave it in. Then after that we're going to get the second strap and attach it the same way we've done with this. So let me take this end to the wrong side, but then I'll weave it in later. We're going to get the second strap and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Now for this one, we're beginning from the bottom in that stitch, and then in the bottom stitch right there. Just watch what I'm doing. Let me complete this attachment of this strap. I'll speed up the process, then I'll meet you at the end. This is what we have when the two straps are in place, and now let's do the zipper. Get your zipper, and now this is how we're going to connect it. And you need the sewing needle with some thread. Take the zipper and put it into the bag, just like this. My zipper is long enough, so I'm going to leave an end hanging on either sides of the zipper. And yeah, so I'll get the needle, and I'm going to leave a bit of some length on one side. Then I'm just going to work on the same spot, going with the needle all the way around that zipper, just to close it up to ensure that the zip does not fall off. Then after I've gone around several times, I'll start attaching. Once I'm done attaching the zipper, I'll not be showing you how to do the lining because I'm not really good in it. I'm still learning, but there are so many tutorials here on YouTube that you can watch and learn how to work the lining to your bag. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, kindly leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe, and see you in the next tutorial.